Hi everyone, I'm Lisa and welcome to my stamp studio. Halloween's around the corner, and as I promised you a few weeks ago, I've got another cute favor to share with you. This time though, not with chocolate, it's with pumpkin seeds. Here's what we're going to be making, and I can't wait to show you how easy it is to assemble. But while I've got your attention, let me tell you about something cool. I've got a project PDF library on my blog, as well as offering now studio stamps in the mail. My designs are original, you won't find them anywhere else, so head over to my blog and check them out. In the meantime, let's get over to the stamp table and let's get started. I'm going to begin with a piece of Tangelo Twist cardstock, and this measures 4 1/4 by 10 inches. And we're going to use our Stampin' Trimmer with the score blade. The scoring blade is the light colored blade. The dark one is for cutting. And the first score line is going to be at 4 1/2 inches. So I'm going to line it up here at the 4 1/2, and then we're going to score. And I'm going to slide it over to the 9-inch mark, which is way over here, and score again. I'm going to use my bone folder, and I'm going to crease up on these, and then this will give me an opportunity to make sure that these are nice and even when I crease them. And then this is that 1-inch portion at the bottom. So now we have our holder, but let's decorate it. I cut a piece of basic black cardstock, and this measures 4-inch by 4-inch. And I also cut a piece of the Happy Haunting Designer Series paper. This measures 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. With my snail adhesive, I'm going to put it on the side I don't want to use. Remember, all the papers with Stampin' Up! Are double-sided. And I'm going to place that right here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but look at those cute little pumpkin faces. That then is going to get attached here to the front. Now, whenever I'm doing a 3D project, I like to provide a little bit more adhesive than normal because it's going to be bend and it's going to be handled a lot more. And that's going to go here. Now, you're going to notice, I'm sure, if you're an avid stamper, and you're going to say, Lisa, that's not perfectly centered. Well, no, it's not. I wanted to keep my dimensions really, really simple so that I can make oodles of these without going into 3/7 of an inch and all that fancy stuff. This is very vanilla cardstock, and I'm using a basic black ink pad. And I'm going to use the pumpkin from Haunt Ya Later stamp set. Isn't this little guy adorable? This is the black archival ink, and you're going to need to stamp 3 pumpkins. And this is just on scratch paper. You're also going to need 2 strips of scrap paper. These are 1/2 inch wide, both of them. And then I used this. This is the alphabet rotary stamp. I love this. And you can dial up your greetings on it. So this one, I dialed up pumpkin time, and I left a space. Lots of room to come up with all kinds of unique creations and verbiage for your scrapbook pages or your cards. You're going to notice here that I actually used my Sharpie marker and I made this side red. For some reason, I kept forgetting what side the letters started on, especially when you turn it upside down. So that's just a good little tip for you when you're using your rotary. Now, you can use this in your ink pad, but I'm going to be honest with you. I found it so much more user-friendly to use with my marker. So this is the basic black marker, and I'm using the brush side, and I'm going to hold the stamp in my hand, and I am actually going to marker in all the letters spelling out pumpkin time. Literally just takes seconds. I'm going to huff on it to re-moisten my ink, and then I'm going to position this on that strip of paper, and I'm going to stamp. Now, unlike your other stamps, this one you're going to want to rock because it's old-fashioned rotary stamp. So you're going to want to make sure you get those letters out nice and clear. This gets clean just like your stamps. You're just going to rub it on your Stampin' Scrub and get the ink off. Now I decided I wanted to turn this into a banner, so I'm using my hexagon punch, and here's a cute little tip for you. See this point right here? We are just going to slide this in, and you're going to eye up the center of your paper where that point is, and then you're just going to punch. So there you get a nice little banner tip with no effort. Now on this piece, I'm using the words enjoy, and this comes from the stamp set All About Sugar. Great for party favors, and it fits the French fry box. So I'm going to use my basic black ink pad again, and this I'm going to stamp right here in the middle of the cardstock. I want a banner tip on this as well, so back inside my hexagon punch, and now we've got that taken care of. So we've got these pieces, we've got our assembly, and we have our pumpkins. So let's talk about these pumpkins. We're going to do some watercoloring. This is the Tangelo Twist ink pad, of course, which coordinates with the cardstock. Flip it over, I'm going to give it a squeeze. We made the bottom of these flexible so that when you squeeze, the ink from here will end up in the well of the stamp. I'm using an aqua painter. This just unscrews and you put tap water inside. I absolutely love this because this eliminates the whole dipping process in a cup and you can control the water flow a lot easier. I always give it a quick little pinch before I start to make sure that it's not soaking wet. I want to be able to control what I'm doing. Now I realize I stamped this one a little bit close to the end. I've already got some done for the video, but let me show you what we're going to do here. I'm picking up a little bit of color and then I'm watering it down because it's a very strong shade. And I'm going to start on the outside of my design. That might be a little bit too light. And I'm going to go back over it. And you're going to notice I'm pulling towards the inside. So same thing again on the outside and towards the inside. Now you're not going to worry about going outside the lines too much because we're actually going to cut these pumpkins out. There is no framelit for them. I know, boo hiss, but they're worth cutting because aren't they cute? Now here in the center, same thing, darkest color here, and then I'm just going to blend. And this watered down ink that's sitting here is a great filler. Now this is very vanilla cardstock, so if you repeat an area too much, the paper will slightly pile. So don't let yourself think that's something you've done wrong, and it's not. So I'm kind of happy with that. That's good enough. Now to clean this, you're going to hold it over your scrub and you're going to give it a quick squeeze so the water runs through the bristles. Next is Garden Green. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give it a little squeeze. So I've got some color in here and I'm going to pick up a little bit of this again and I'm going to water it down. And this is going to be for the top of my pumpkin. Now I'm just doing one, but you're going to need all three to make this favor the way that I'm making it. And we're going to switch colors one more time to chocolate chip. I'm giving that a squeeze and then there's my color well. Pinching that to make sure it's not too wet. And then this is going to be for my stem. Now when you go to cap your aqua painter, I'm going to caution you to make sure the bristles are put together before you put the cap on. What you don't want is to cap it and then the stray hairs come out to the side and then when you go to use it again it's really nasty. All those little stray hairs will pick up color. Now while that's drying, I'm going to take my sponge, this is just a wedge of sponge, in my Tangelo Twist ink pad and I'm going to ink it up just a little bit and dab off my extra and I'm going to just sponge the edges of my banner. I'm going to do the same thing with the Enjoy. This is one of the Stampin' Up! Cello bags. This measures 4 by 6 and I went to Bulk Nation and I bought myself some pumpkin seeds. Because I thought, well, this will be kind of a fun project with something different. So I stuck them in here. So I'm going to put some pumpkin seeds into my cello bag. You're going to want to make sure that you've got a generous amount in there, but you don't want to fill it too much that we can't like attach it to the pocket that we're creating. Okay, down here at the bottom, you're going to seal this with regular household Scotch tape. It's going to be in the back so no one's going to see it. This is good and dry now. I'm going to use my Garden Green marker, and this matches the same green we used here. 2 sides to the marker. One side is the brush, one side is the pen. I'm using the thinner side, and I'm going to create just some fun, whimsical tendrils on this. And again, you would do this to all 3. Grab those paper snips, and then you're going to begin to cut out your pumpkin. I want you to leave a little bit of space around it. I don't want you to cut directly on the actual image because that will actually distort it. We don't want to lose any of those fine detail lines that are around the outside of our pumpkin. So we're just going to go around and around, and you can see how quick this is because it's really easy to trace with those bold stamped lines. So there we have one of our pumpkins. Before the video, I did another, so now here we have all 3. Let's go ahead and assemble this. You'll need your dimensionals, and I'm going to use 2 on this pumpkin and 2 on this pumpkin. And we're going to do a little bit of stacking. I'm also going to put 1 or 2, I guess I'm using 2, I pulled off 2, on the back pumpkin. So I'm going to find the pumpkin I like the best, and I'm going to put him in the front. That's just called creative crafting. I like this one the best. So I am going to stick this one here, and I'm going to stick this guy kind of like so, like here. Now remember, it's a 3D project, so if you go outside the line, the perimeter, it's just not a big deal. So that's that. And then here comes that really cute banner that we created. And we're going to put a couple more dimensionals on the back. And this is going to go here at the top. Now there's a little space there. And if you're like me, you're like, you know you want to fill it. So I'm going to grab my candy dots. And these are the neutrals pack. And I'm going to use a black one. So I'm going to use my little scissors to help me pull it off because there's a glue dot already on the back. And that's going to go right here. That kind of finishes that off, don't you think? Now let me show you how the pumpkin seeds go inside. So remember, the tape is on the back. Not going to be visible when we're done. Doesn't really matter which way, but I'm going to go this way because I'm going to be able to hide anything near the bottom. This is going to go in here like so. I'm moving all the pumpkin seed to the top because I'm going to actually staple this in here to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. This is the handheld stapler, and I have the mini staples inside. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to put one staple here, and I'm going to measure up this side, and I'm going to put another staple here. Okay, so now we can kind of shuffle that around. Here comes my words enjoy, and that's going to hide all those staples. I am going to line this up to hide those staples. And again, I got a little spot here I want to fill. So I'm using the pumpkin colored ones from the Brights collection. And I'm just going to add a couple of those there to chew up that space. I mean, you could actually put a ribbon, you could put a button, anything you want. Or of course, you could make it another banner tip on this side. So now we have our pumpkin seeds. Isn't that easy? So cute and really affordable. I'm so glad that you joined me today, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great day.